Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today, we're going to be starting our Valheim channel and guides with this. So we're going to be here making an ultimate beginner guide right here. So if you're new to me, I'm Kaghoe. I love making guides. I've normally been from classic World of Warcraft, and I've been playing Valheim, and I've been seeing a lot of people sort of asking questions, and me asking my own questions. I've been playing with a few friends, and it's been really fun. So pretty much, I'm just going to tell you everything I have learned thus far. So when you first get into Valheim, you have a bird that sort of shows you the ropes, but pretty much you're going to need to just talk to him, see what he tells you to do, and just pick up as much stone and wood as you can. In order to sort of get a pickaxe and get a good source of stone, you're going to have to kill the first boss. And that first boss is not too challenging at all by any means. You pretty much just need a bow, and in order to get a bow and some armor, you just gotta sort of kill boars. When we're talking about sort of this, obviously I'm moving a bit fast here, but it's just pick up sticks, pick up what you can, and you can sort of go. You don't really have to do exactly what the bird tells you to do. It just sort of tells you things that you want. When we get into the food system here, so when you eat food, it increases your health. The more foods you get, the more health you have. The better foods you have, the better health you have. So you can eat up to 3 foods at a time. It's definitely interesting. You can also run out of food if you don't have anything. Everything you do is sort of skill based, so you want to sort of run around, pick up things. In order to build, you're going to need a hammer. As you see right there, I built a stone axe because I want to get some trees. And resources are sort of built based off of the biome location. So in the upper right corner here, you can see that it says meadows on my map. Now, meadows is going to have flint rocks, which are going to be along water. And they are also going to have beech trees, as you saw right here. These are your great source of wood, and only wood. There are many types of logs. And then later in here, when you get to here, you're gonna have to look for birch trees to get fine wood. But that's after you get bronze, and you need a bronze axe to do that. So right now, we're just picking up a little bit of rocks here, sort of getting ready to find a house and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a club. That's a pretty good starting weapon to defend myself versus these guys. You can put it up on your toolbar here, and it'll pretty much suffice. You can also use the axe if you want. You're not gonna really run into too many problems. Everything you do here to start off, the bird will sort of come here and tell you to do things, what to look for. Huge note, be careful, trees do fall. They fall the way you are cutting them. So like I'm going to cut it this way so it falls into an open area, and this can kill you if it falls on you. It damages everything in its path. It can even damage most other trees, as you can see right there. If that would have hit me, it would have been bad. That even knocked down another tree. And then you come here, you chop the log, split the log in half, keep hitting it, and you'll get more wood. So just a few beginner tips with that. The next step that you're going to want to do is get about 10 wood after you craft those few items. And the reason you want to do this is so you can build a workbench and sort of work on a house. So in order to do that, what I recommend is just sort of running and looking for a pre-existing structure, and then you can go into there, place a workbench, and sort of start your process of moving into that location. So this right here, this is just a really small shack. I wouldn't really start there. I would keep looking. The best advice, so right there we see that place in the distance. I think we're gonna head there to sort of start building. A big thing and very important thing I would recommend doing is when you do decide to move to your first settlement, start to build, is to do it on the edge of the meadows and the Black Forest. The Black Forest is the second area you go to, and you go there after that. Flint. The only way to get flint is in the meadow zones by the water. There's no flint rocks, to my knowledge, nothing of that sort. So if you need flint, you just want to come here and pick it up. You can find stones everywhere. Flint is a big one, and you're going to need it later on. So you're going to want to continue to build stuff with like that. But anyway, we're going to head to this house here and sort of build in it and work with that. But the biggest thing you can do is kill any boar you see, because leather scraps will drop from them, and with those leather scraps you can work on getting a bow, which is going to be essential to do the first boss, because you need to kill a deer and get a deer trophy to do it. So this is where I'm going to sort of build my base. As you see, there's some poison there. You got to be careful for stuff like that. But yeah, so you just sort of have to drop a workbench here, and that will begin your base. Now, I'm not really sure what's poisoning me here. I really haven't encountered that. I think it might be that sack right there or something like that. But as you see, we placed that workbench, and now the boss is there. But yeah, I'm not sure what is poisoning me here. I've never really encountered this. So I'm going to go ahead and once you place the workshop, oh, it's a beehive right there. That would be what is poisoning me. So as you see, I just deleted everything near it, and that caused the beehive to get destroyed. And once you place the workbench down, that's when you can start destroying stuff. So you can destroy anything you don't like, sort of make the house your own any way you want. In order to use the workbench, you're going to need to make a roof over the house. So that's just pretty much the basic stuff. So I'm going to pause right here. We're going to cut to it, and I'm going to build this house real quick and sort of expedite this process. So I will see you when we get there. Whoop. Alrighty, guys, so we have our little hut going here. I did run out of wood, need to get a few more, but the important thing is that we have a roof over our workbench, which allows us to use it. In order to repair your tools, you just go right here and you click it. It does not consume resources. You just have to have the workbench and the level of tool that you want to use. So if you break your axe, you can do that. You can also make another axe. It's up to you. I'd recommend building your little hut as much as you want. And this is such a temporary structure, guys. I want to reiterate that, like, you're not going to stay here for very long, so I wouldn't recommend making it anything too grand. Now, an important thing to note is that you do need a fire in order to get rested, and you do need a house. So we built a fire here, and we built a chimney. So the chimney is to make sure you do not suffocate. I made this mistake my very first playthrough. I built a bed, I was going to sled, and we completely enclosed the house. It had no chimney for the smoke to come out. It's just something super basic like this. It works. You can design it any way you want. But like I said, guys, your very first home is going to be super temporary. I would definitely recommend relocating somewhere after you kill the first boss and going into a more ideal location, somewhere in the Black Forest that is on the edge of a meadow is where I would recommend doing, because that gives you access to the two biomes, and you're going to spend a while in there. Yeah, like, I have put in probably over like 20-30 hours, and I haven't even left the Black Forest yet, to give you in perspective. We killed the first boss pretty easily, but you know, it didn't come at, like, it wasn't that easy. If we didn't have a bow, we would have certainly lost. I even died a few times doing it. But it's important to note that when you summon the bosses, they stay until they are killed, and they will come for you if you have a respawn point close enough to it. So you have to be very, very careful when you're doing that. You can go to bed once the sun starts to set, and you'll be able to see that, of course, pretty quickly, I might add. But here is a food rack. This is how cooking food works. I have one of those lizard neck tail, so that cooks, and you just have to put a cooking rack over the fire, and then you'll hear a little sizzling noise that tells you it's done. And however, you can burn your food, so if you leave it in there too long, you'll hear the sizzle here in a moment, and if you leave it in there too long after that sizzle, your food will burn. So right there, we just heard that, so we know it's done. And there we have a grilled neck tail. So now I can eat that, and as you see, my health goes up. I ate the strawberry, and I ate the mushroom. So those are my 3 foods. Definitely recommend getting 3 foods before you go and fight the first boss. Now, in order to find the first boss, you go to these starting stones, and there is a little thing that will point you to the shrine. So I will have to go there to show you guys that. But here's, just a little shack going. I like it. I think it's pretty nice. I actually just found that beehive. Like, I had not found one before now. I haven't even found one on my my main game. So that's a bed. You talk to this guy, he'll tell you stuff about that. If you are ever confused at this starting area, guys, you really just have to read what the bird says. I already kind of know what he's going to tell me to do, so I am just sort of doing that. We'll get into more details with sort of a workbench guide, things like that as we go, but the best thing you can do is just sort of pick up wood, get stone, things like that to start out with, and just sort of work at your own pace, build the gear you want to do it, and then you can go do the first boss. I'm just going to sort of turbo through it, see what I can do in this short time in a new world, and get, go at it with a bow and maybe some leather gear and see how well I do against the first boss. But yeah, I will just sort of chop some more wood and progress a little bit further, and then we will go to that first boss, and I will show you how that goes. So I will see you when we get there. Whoop. Alrighty, guys, so as I said, we're at the stones. This is the first thing that you do. You register this, and it will sort of show you where the boss is. So that is going to be the first boss. It's a very electric-y deer, and so we need to get a bow, which means we need to find more boars. And then we will go and try to fight that. Obviously, we have just a rag tunic, so it's not going to be too good. So we got to farm a little bit of deer, farm a little bit of boar, get some better gear going, and then we should be able to kill that. Most important thing, make sure you get flint, make sure you get wood so you can upgrade your workbench along with that. It's getting dark, so these greylings are going to be coming at me. Two things to note. One, yes, you can kill them, sort of train whatever skill you want. But another thing is if you hold a torch out, they will run away from you. They are afraid of lights. So you get those around your base and you will be fine. It's saying you're starting to feel cold. That tells you it's the first night. As well as if you are wet, you cannot go to bed. So I'm going to show you that there, just so you guys see that I'm cold, I'm wet, and so my stam is not going up very quickly. It'll drain faster, and then in order to get warm, you got to come inside to your fire, and then you can just sort of go to bed. So an important thing to note, you can put food on the fire or any type of crafting thing when you get further in, and it will warm up there. As well as you see, I'm sitting by the fire, so my wetness went away, and then that allows me to go to bed. You can't sleep while you're wet. I'm not really sure why that matters too much, but that we just got 2 food, and now we can go to bed here. And we won't suffocate because there's a chimney there, and we will stay warm, get this nice rested buff, and be ready for the next day. Just something really cool to, go to the next day. Sometimes you'll say you dreamed of something. There are just a few things that it will. So placing that chopping block down allows me to do workbench level 2, which unlocked those arrows, and a few other things. So we're just gonna look to have that ragged clothing, and then we can get a flint axe for chopping wood. There's a lot of things you can get with this, but I would definitely recommend just getting a bunch of wood, making wooden arrows, and then making a crude bow. So you're gonna hunt boar, and then you'll hunt some deer, and then we'll be ready to go at it. In about 30 minutes, you can pretty much kill the first boss in the game. You could do it even faster if you went straight to a boar, got some arrows, because the boss is pretty simple to kill. You just got to get lucky and be good at kiting him around and using a bow. But like I said, we're just looking for boars and stuff here. And there's one right over there. We're going to farm this leather up, and then we will head to the boss and do the boss fight, guys. So I'll see you then. Whoop. Alrighty, guys. So we made it back to base. We got enough leather scraps to make a bow. Now, what I would recommend is, having enough to make some arrows. It takes 8 wood for the arrows. You can right-click the arrows, and that's sort of the stuff you equip. I would also, pick up some flint while you're out there. Get a flint axe. It's really nice to have. I would definitely recommend getting a flint knife as well. It is better than a club. I just didn't have enough flint as well as leather scraps because I used them all on a bow. And then the goal, I would say, is get 18 deer hide. As well as a deer hide trophy. I got very lucky. A deer ran into the water, so then you can actually kill it with just melee. But the most important reason that I want you to do this is so you, one, have some decent gear in order to fight the last boss, or the first boss, and in order to get good with the bow, because the bow system in this is a bit weird. Like it uses stamina to shoot it. So if you're running, you won't have too much stamina in order to shoot. So you have to do some interesting walking tactics. And then you're going to also, make sure you calibrate it properly. Now, an important thing to know is there are starred mobs. So right here. So that is a 2-star deer. So we're going to aim in the bow. We're going to aim it up a little, and then we're going to shoot. It saw me, so it decided to run. So now you either have to have a great shot or chase it. So we know it ran that way. We're just sort of shooting. So it said skill improved, bows 1. That means I hit something, I believe. So I could have hit that deer. No, I hit the tree right there. So we're looking for this deer because it is a 2-star deer. It has a lot more material. So it actually ran into the water, which is really good for us because that makes it an easy hit. So as you saw right there, we hit him. Now he's running out of the water, which is bad for us. And so close, so close. It's hard when they're moving because you got to lead it. There we go. We got him. We hit him with that second shot. And now we're going to see, since he was a 2-star deer, we got a lot of resource right there. We got 8 deer hides just from that. I don't know if you'll get that lucky. And I have sort of found the star deers do give a trophy. So it is a bit difficult to sort of hunt these deer. You got to be paying attention because if you scare them, they run away, and then you sort of have to chase them, find the direction. They will always run away from you. So you can sort of corral them, guide them in the water, especially if you have multiple people. You can get them stuck running back and forth between the two of you, making for some easy kills. But one shot from the bow will definitely kill them. You just got to make sure you hit that shot in order to get it. And then, so we're just going to keep hunting deer right here. Get that 18 deer hide. Go make that gear. Makes probably 100 arrows. And then go fight the boss and sort of see how well we do with that. But yeah, I will see you guys when we get there. Whoop. Alrighty guys, so we made it back to the base. We're starting the 3rd day. We went to bed. Just to sort of show you how the accelerating crafting looks, I left some meat on the thing, so it will usually, I guess it doesn't work for meat, so meat kind of stays there. It doesn't instantly burn, but there you go. We have some meat that's cooked and ready. We're putting that there. I crafted the leather helmet, the leather pants, the leather tunic, and we have 150 arrows as well as the deer hide helmet. So now an important thing to do is eat our food. So we're eating that these cooked meats, as well as we are going to eat a raspberry, and that is going to give us all of our health. Make sure your stuff is repaired before you go out. That's a big thing to do. And if you want, you can make a chest to dump everything, but it really doesn't matter too much. Just most important thing is to have that deer trophy, and then we are going to go to the deer boss and sort of see what we can do. To give you a sort of frame of reference for this is day 3. We ate before we left, so our stamina and health can go up. I'm kind of blocking it where I am with the camera, but you'll be able to see the bar once it's all the way up, and that's going to be super important for this boss fight. I went ahead and made a flint knife, but we have our axe and our bow. A shield can be used here too if you really want to try to melee it, but I would highly recommend you just get this leather gear and you use a bow. Now, as I said before, if you fail and die here, the boss will respawn. So, or the boss does not respawn, he stays up, so he will come to your house if you're close enough to it. and a lot of things like that. So as we're running here, we're almost to the shrine, and we're going to read the stone. The stones are at each boss location, and they will give you a hint. So you talk to them, you found the place, call it. It will not be easy. We read this stone. The hint is going to be hunt his kin. You see a deer, so that would imply kill a deer. So, you know, we have deer trophies. So we are going to put that on there, and here we go. It takes 2 deer trophies to start this fight. We have hundreds of arrows. Biggest thing to note is these rocks cannot be destroyed, whereas all the other rocks can be. So that is the deer boss right there. So we're going to shoot arrows, and we are going to hide behind these rocks so we do not get electrocuted. But he's not that bad of a boss. You just got to make sure you rotate around his electricity and sort of play around this rock and just use a bow. It's not going to be that hard. We have a lot of leather going. The boss does like to run away sometimes to get a good charge coming at you. And then it's just sort of, it arcs out that way in a cone right in front of him. So it's important to try to make sure he doesn't hit you, but that's what you have this armor for. Watch your stand bar, because that is going to be the biggest thing. The more you charge your arrow, the more damage it will do to him. So try to get those charge shots. As you see, he likes to do that, but it's not going to be that hard of a fight, guys. Like I said, just get a bow. Have those foods I mentioned, and you can really just tank him as well. Like, we're not losing too much health. I'm just doing this the safest way I know. Make sure your bow and tools are repaired though, because as you can see, I'm going to almost use the entire bow that I'm using right here to defeat this boss. These boss encounters are really, really fun. The next boss is so difficult, one of the hardest ones I have done, but that will be for another time. I just want to sort of give a nice little beginner's guide. We can sort of go over more building tips in an additional guide, as well as what to do to prepare for the Elder, as well as how to sort of progress. Like what key things you note, because after this, the bird isn't really there. He doesn't really tell you much other than to sort of guide you at the beginning. And I had to personally look up how to go past bronze because I couldn't even figure it out due to my location. But there you have it. That is the first boss. That's pretty much the easy way to do that right there. You get that, you get the trophy, you get antlers, and the reason you do this is so you can make a pickaxe, which lets you get copper, tin, and mine stones. So he tells you to return to the sacrifice, you get the head, you run back here to do that. It's super important because this unlocks a power, and each boss you kill gives you a power. Those powers allow you to run really, really, they each have a unique thing. The Elder's power will let you chop down wood faster. This guy's gives you more stamina, and lets you run further and reduce. They have a 30-minute cooldown, and they last for 5 minutes. So it's super important to make sure you get into the habit of using that. But yeah, you just come to these ritual stones, you do that, and then you head to the Black Forest. Now, I happened, while hunting deer, to run across it. The Black Forest is right there for me. You can sort of see it. It's a bit darker of trees on your map once you've unlocked, once you've sort of gotten close to it. And it'll say it's the Black Forest. And the reason I say settle on the lines is for the unique resources, because the Black Forest has copper and tin in it, and it doesn't have flint or scraps. So you're going to be coming back to the meadows, as well as raspberries. It doesn't have raspberries, it has blueberries. So you will come back there for a few things. So you just sort of look at these rocks, see what the bosses are, and you're like, okay, this is the deer boss. We're going to read this, and then we are going to attach the trophy and activate the power right there. And then as you see, that gives us the power to activate, and that is the first boss, guys. So pretty amazing. And now the bird will come here, and he will tell us to go to the Black Forest. That is where the next thing awaits. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. That's the beginner guide. That's all the tips, what to do, how I recommend killing the first boss. Nice and easy for you guys. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I love getting back to everyone. If you have any comments, any things you think I missed, anything you'd like me to sort of do for the next video, I would love to hear it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me. If you happen to find anyone that you know would also benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. It helps me out a ton and allows me to keep doing what I love every single day, and that is gaming and sort of helping people any way that I can. So finally, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.